let's welcome everyone to today's edition of the show. This is Frontier Opening Bell with me, Bosun Amofaya, and of course, my guest this Wednesday, the 15th of September, Chima Ukadike, who is the head of research and analysis in charge of consumer goods at Vetiva Capital Management. Welcome back to the show, Chima.
Hi, Bosun. It's nice to be here.
Great to have you. Great to have you. Thank you very much. The equities market across Africa a little bit mixed as on Monday, also on Tuesday, Nigerian market, the BRVM, the EGX went up, although the Egyptian market got a bigger size of 0.43%. The market was very strong in terms of the total transactions, by the way, about $4.5 million in total transactions in Nigeria, $112 million in total transactions in the Egyptian market. Quite a very big day for the Egyptian bourse. The Nairobi market was down by 0.04%, and South Africa fell by 0.54% because of the mining resources index. By the way, some of the big names on that market actually fell. Okay, let's touch East Africa very quickly, where the Afrexim Bank, which is headquartered in Cairo, has rolled out products to support trade or catalyze intra-Africa trade, in particular the payment system, what you call the PAPS, what you call PAPS. The whole drive towards climate change is happening and everyone's getting on board. KenGen, which is listed on the Nairobi bourse, partly owned by the government in Kenya, as gets the approval to sell 4 million tons of its carbon credits. Everyone's trying to comply. The whole climate change conversation will catalyze into the conference, which is due in November. And the UK has seized about 2 billion shillings worth of sports pesa firms' assets in part of the seizure to resolve some of the debt that the company is into. Tanzania is buying about 297 shillings more stake in Shelter Afrique. Shelter Afrique is a housing financing company headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya, but of which Nigeria and a few other countries are shareholders. Nigeria is one of the largest shareholders in Shelter Afrique. Tanzania has bought more shares in Shelter Afrique, a part of the providing a window of funding for housing in member states. On the island of Seychelles, where you have the merged exchanges, Sarkos Group says its first half 2021 profit will be far less than 150%. Let's get into Nigeria. Inflation just came in this morning, printing 17.0%. Headline figure for on a year-on-year basis, that's 17.38 in the previous month. On a month-on-month basis, inflation, however, moved up from 0.98% to 1.0%. And global debt surged to $296 trillion in second quarter. Nigeria is set tomorrow to announce the $3 billion offering. The news from the debt management office yesterday was that Nigeria is trying to raise this Eurobond very quickly before the next week FOMC meeting of the U.S. Central Bank, with considerations over inflation, higher interest rate, possible high interest rate, inflation uptick, and the price of the US dollar. We expect that announcement tomorrow from the 16th from Debt Management Office. Then, of course, the investors' meetings will take place from Friday to Monday. The Nigeria Central Bank is looking to set up Nigeria's International Financial Center in 2022. That was the announcement made yesterday by the Central Bank Chief, Godwin Emefiele. That comes after we've seen South Africa, Rwanda, and even Kenya looking to set up its own International Financial Center. Stanbic Africa Holdings, which is a subsidiary of the company in South Africa, bought additional shares in Nigeria's Stanbic IBTC Holdings, which is listed on the Nigerian exchange group. And Cameroon's first half trade deficit widened 7.5%. The figure is about 744 billion CFA franc. Okay, so let's talk about the markets in Nigeria. And Chima, this is your talk.
Okay. So I think I'd just like to start with the Eurobond raising. I can see your headline says ahead of the FOMC in September 22. I'm not sure if the meeting is supposed to be in September 22, but an article I saw, I think this morning, said the roadshow for the Eurobond raising will begin October 11. I'm not sure how they plan to get that started for the ahead of the FOMC meeting. But just speaking to the Eurobond issuance itself, I'm sure that it will be some sorely needed relief that will be seeing for the FX market, given the drama that is going on in the FX market recently and the spread between the NAFEX rate and the parallel market rate at about 35%, I think, as of yesterday, right? So giving the restrictions or CBN restricting BDCs from giving out participating in the FX market, and consumers or individuals have to go through the banks if they need FX for school or PTA or legal funding reasons. There has been a lot of demand pent up against the short supply that we currently have. Even with the SDR that we got, I think last month, that was unable to quell the depreciation in the FX market. So I think the Eurobond raising will be a positive for us in that light, and we should see that quell the sort of gap we have between demand and supply, as well as do some other things that we need to do in the economy. Second, global debt surged to 96 trillion in second quarter. When I was reading that, I just imagined that everybody's borrowing from the government to from countries to households. Everybody needs to rebuild. I think we're in a rebuilding phase. After the pandemic, people need to start their lives over, or make plans and execute them. And money makes the world go around. Honestly, so I think people are just trying to take advantage of the low interest rates that are available globally, and take advantage of that, start rebuilding their lives, get their homes on track, get their studies on track, get their plans on track globally. So I think that is what we're seeing in what we saw in second quarter, especially as the vaccination rates continue to rise. More people are interested in taking the vaccines. Skepticism about the vaccines continues to wane. And so, we're seeing a lot of economic positivity and a lot of positivity globally. So, one way for people to rebuild their lives is to take money to do that. And I think that's why we're seeing the global debt surge by this much. We can see that the president is seeking approval for a 4 billion naira fund for infrastructure, 4 billion naira loan for infrastructure. So I also saw a 15 trillion infrastructure fund that CBN is also facilitating in conjunction with the AFC and some other international bodies. Um, I understand the importance of infrastructure in Nigeria. It cannot be de-emphasized. Um, with the current infrastructure deficit in Nigeria, I read a report that says we need about $30 trillion, um,
per annum.
30 trillion naira to invest that amount yearly to be able to get to the required infrastructure
Yes.
progress that we need in Nigeria. So if you even take what we've done or what we're doing currently, or if you even say you want to take the whole Nigerian budget to focus only on infrastructure, we are not really going to be able to make that mark that we need to get to. So whilst I agree that we need all these funds for infrastructure, and we need to get as much as we can get, I think we need some sort of structure. We're hearing here that we're getting an infrastructure fund here. We're hearing here that the government is seeking to borrow a loan for infrastructure as well. There are other scattered infrastructure projects. I think what we need is some sort of structure to be able to say, oh, these are all the funds we're getting for infrastructure. These are the projects we need to embark upon, and there's proper execution, there's proper implementation, there's proper monitoring for all these projects. So that's what I think about the approval, the request for the loan. I think that's about it. There's also news about Nigerian International Financial Center that's supposed to be coming up in 2022. I find it quite hard to be excited about this news because it's not exactly there's not a lot of information that has been brought about with this new update. So, what exactly is this financial center going to be doing? How are Nigerians going to benefit from it? How are you attracting capital and investments? Are you just saying, oh, building a financial center so that we can attract capital and investment. The policies that will make these investments come in and stay, how do they look like? I saw that the article cited financial centers like Singapore and the UK and New York. But if you take Singapore, for example, they have, policies that are enabling investments to come and stay. They are very positive in terms of trade. If you look at our last trade report, um, I don't have the figure for deficit currently, but all these things I think that we need to align properly before we say we want to build a financial center. Whilst this is good news, I still think that there are a lot of things that need to be put in place for this to be executed
Yeah,
properly and for it to yield the
there's quite
desired result
a lot
that
there
we're
to
looking for.
chew within the Nigeria space. Quite a lot happening, news coming through. But this week, we just talk about inflation. The monetary policy meeting of the central bank is on Thursday and Friday. We also like to have your views from Vertiva Capital on that, which is a very crucial one. Inflation is out today, so we have a whole lot that will go into the MPC on Thursday, Friday. The announcement later in the afternoon on Friday. Thank you, Chima Ukadike. Let's touch base with South African market. Angola's got Moody's sovereign credit rating upgrade to B3 from CAA1. It's the first time since 2015 when Moody's decided to raise Angola's sovereign credit rating. According to Moody's yesterday, this was the upgrade was based on the price of oil and improved fiscal management in Africa's second largest oil producer, that's Angola. And South Africa's cabinet met 2 days ago, and the whole talk is about the economic recovery, but the new finance minister is not looking a little bit happy with the ruling party, the ANC, submitting their own political spending of about 74 billion rand. So it looks like it is going to be a bit of a problem there, how the economy will move on with the ANC having their own wish list as the news go for the administration in Pretoria. Steinhoff is trying to resolve his debt and a few other issues. So he sold off about 7.3 billion rand of his shares in Pepkor. The shares of Pepkor yesterday declined on that particular transaction as investors digested the news around that as part of the settlement. So, and it's a whole lot to sort out with Steinhoff, by the way. And then you have Zambia's government is promising that sanity will return to the country's mining sector, at least before the year 2026. Well, will investors wait until that long, another 5 years before sanity will return? But the country says it's going to be before that, with the new president and the administration of President Ichilema now in Lusaka. Proplastics shares went down yesterday on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange after the company asked the central bank to address delays in foreign currency auction. So that's the story, by the way. Let's just notch it all up in North Africa to the consortium, which is offering to buy 90% stake in Sadiq, has been approved by the Egypt's Financial Regulatory Authority. And Banque Misr is launching Egypt's first gold investment fund. This news came out a few weeks ago. We're following that for everyone very closely. And on the Tunisian Stock Exchange, AMI Assurance has raised its share capital to about 87.39 million dinars. That's part of the story we're looking at for you this Wednesday as we start another trading day here on Frontier Africa Reports. Thank you so much, Chima Ukadike, from head of research and analysis in charge of consumer goods at Vertiva Capital Management. Thank you so much. Have a great day and see you next time, everyone.